Hello and welcome to On Leading with Greatness. I'm Jim Salvucci. This week's installment, I regret to inform you that I've misinformed you. Don't ask me nothing about nothing. I might just tell you the truth. Bob Dylan, Outlaw Blues. I have a confession to make. I've been misleading you, maybe even lying to you, for years. The fact that I've been lying to myself all that time doesn't make it any better. The lie I've been telling us all is that great leadership will lead to business success. In fact, I know of no studies or slam dunk examples that definitively demonstrate this claim. I've also said that bad bossing is incompetence in practice, which I maintain, but we can identify plenty of objectively bad bosses who are wildly successful from a business or material perspective despite their feckless leadership. While I believe and know that great leadership will increase morale and productivity, I can't guarantee it will lead to higher profits and other standard measures of business achievement. As for those bad bosses who do reach such heights, I remain convinced they would be even more successful if they practiced true leadership. But how to prove it? I can't. No one has. In fact, studies indicate that during a crisis, the type of leadership I preach tends to perform less positively than traditional command and control methods. Some even conclude that practicing the dark side of leadership can better foster creativity. Meanwhile, other studies reach nearly opposite verdicts. In other words, when it comes to leadership and organizational productivity, the best answer to what is the most effective approach would be, it depends. While autocratic leadership may prevail in an emergency, let me suggest that collaborative leadership, the kind built upon human relationships, is best suited for avoiding such crises altogether. Still, I can't really prove it, and few have studied the notion extensively. Plus, frankly, a lot of leadership research asks the wrong questions or looks at the wrong metrics. And I get it. The snag is that we simply don't have a clear answer to a central, yet particularly nettlesome question. A question more fundamental even than how to measure success. That question is, what constitutes success? After all, how you measure matters little when you don't know what you're measuring. So, what constitutes success? Again, it depends. One person's success can be another's failure. I also maintain that the most effective leader is one who has built enough trust that faced with a crisis, they can temporarily switch over to a more directive model without damaging relationships. Being able to do so, though, requires a lot of groundwork and mutual trust through thick and thin, definitely not through command and control. Such leaders need to trust their people, foster ongoing trust from their people, and trust themselves. Trust must be earned over and over, never expected, and certainly not demanded. The leader must trust in trust and guide the whole organization to trust in trust. So I can't promise that if you develop and practice a collaborative leadership style, you will achieve higher profits or other quantifiable business or organizational outcomes. If that's what you're looking for, the record is very mixed. In fact, if quarter-on-quarter gains are all you care about, then you probably won't want to put in the effort to treat your team members like human beings. Just go ahead and burn them, then move on. What all this really comes down to is a different type of choice than between, say, higher and lower profits or other quantifiable measures. No, your leadership choices must revolve around the type of environment you want to foster, the sort of life you want to live, and the kind of person you want to be. Ultimately, it's a decision about what manner of world you want to exist in. Stated in no uncertain terms, do you choose decency or indecency? When put so starkly, the response may seem obvious. But I can guarantee someone out there is thinking how naive I am, how weak even. As I've thoroughly argued time and again, though, there's nothing weak or naive about founding your leadership on a commitment to human decency. In fact, if you have tried to do so, I'll bet you've chalked up many failures, times when you've fallen way short because it's so damn difficult. I know I have. More directive forms of leadership, such as command and control and autocracy, are in fact easier, much easier. Almost cop-outs, while their malign consequences speak for themselves. And let's face it, such directive forms of leadership don't have a perfect record of achievement either. Therefore, the varied outcomes of various studies suggest that it's a wash among leadership styles as to which one's most favorable for quantifiable business success. How about this then? If we can't determine which style best drives success, Maybe let's try looking at the leadership choices of failed business managers. From that perspective, the picture grows clearer. Study after study, large, small, longitudinal, meta-analytical, demonstrates that autocratic command and control and toxic management correlate strongly with organizational failure. Businesses go belly up, militaries lose battles, and nonprofits fail their missions. But even with that insight, I can't absolutely prove that sound leadership practices will lead to success, just that they will less likely lead to failure. So we return to that relativistic truism that's beginning to feel like a mantra. It depends. Ultimately, the real question regarding leadership and success is more personal, and answering it requires some honest introspection. Asking what type of leader do you want to be is tantamount to asking what type of person do you want to be. Frankly, it all comes down to behavior. If you want to be a command and control leader, you act like one. If you want to take a more humanistic approach, then adjust your conduct accordingly. If you want to mix and match, autocrat on Monday, pushover on Tuesday, and lazy golfer on Wednesday, then that's who you become. An unpredictable, wishy-washy, untrustworthy invertebrate whose team members are forever anxiously guessing. As I've long maintained, who you are has less to do with intent than behavior. Sure, your intent can drive your behavior, but when a mismatch crops up, behavior wins by default. People who act like decent humans are, in fact, decent humans. The same formula applies to people who act like jerks. So it depends. You choose your so-called leadership style based upon the type of person you want to be. Of course, you can believe that if you act like a beast boss at work, you'll never bring that home, but I doubt it. Some of that beast is making its way into every aspect of your life. At the same time, if you choose to approach your workplace leadership in a more empathetic and humane vein, you probably would have little trouble translating that to your home life. I've written before about the key insight of the television show Severance, namely that the split between work and life, calcified in the phrase work-life balance, is just as artificial as the sci-fi technological separation that serves as the show's main plot device. You can't really sever the two and still remain one person. All this relativism undergirds the starker question I come back to again and again. Do you want to be a boss or a leader? What's the best choice for you and your team? If you choose boss, then embrace that role. Don't pretend to be some empathetic or even caring being. Be honest and do your worst. And please steer clear of me. I've had enough of jerk bosses crapping up my life. If you choose leader, though, know that you have a tough road ahead. The challenges will be many. The setbacks will be painful. And the rewards will rarely come from others, if at all. At the same time, you'll be a better person for it. Your team members, better people for it. And the world, definitely a little better for it. Will you be truly successful, though? Well, it depends. How do you define success? How effective are your leadership choices at achieving such success? True leaders eschew superficial and short-term definitions of success to aim toward a higher purpose, and I can help. Unlock the great leader within. Download my free resource, the Transform to Greatness Toolkit, now at thegreatleadershiptoolkit.com. I look forward to hearing from you.